This week, our interview with Tom O'Donohue with Reverse Loans Now and his tips to success despite the COVID-19 pandemic.
Click on the banner above to learn more about our sponsor, Fairway Independent Mortgage.
Welcome back and thank you for joining us today. We have our exclusive interview with Tom O'Donohue with Reverse Loans Now. And I've been speaking with originators across the country, especially in the last 3 months since we had the coronavirus pandemic and the outbreak, which has impacted not only our national economy, but globally. And we're actually seeing something that's quite a pleasant surprise, an increase in demand for reverse mortgage loans. But there's one gentleman that I've been in contact with recently, and that again is Tom. And he has been succeeding actually even before the COVID-19 pandemic and during, and most likely after. So Tom, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Shan. It's a pleasure to be here. It's always great to talk to everybody and to be with your team. Thank you.
Well, tell us just real briefly, how did you get into the business of originating reverse mortgage loans?
Well, I kind of came in the back door doing forward loans for about 24 years. And I thought I was going to get out of the industry completely and go out of 180 and actually go into full-time vocational ministry. And then God had a different plan for me to stay in business, and they landed in the reverse industry, starting off with MetLife back in the day when they were doing reverse loans. And I've been doing it for 8.5, 9 years now. Love it.
So as an independent broker, why do you think it is that you're succeeding during this pandemic?
Well, I think that the biggest factor is using the same work ethic I have while doing forward loans, just being very aggressive and not just looking for just low-bearing fruit. And it's going out and continuing to build those relationships with the realtors and financial planners and CPAs that I've had relationships with, but just kind of tweaking the sales pitch for what we need to do to help them to either get more listings or to help manage the funds they have under management so they can continue to.
So how is it that you're actually building this relationship with financial professionals, realtors, and others? Because there's a lot of talk about it in the industry, many who want to do it, but there's really a handful who are successfully doing it where they're closing 3 or 4 more loans each and every month. So how do you go about that? What are some of the practical steps that you've taken?
The most practical step is when I meet with my clients, where I live in the Northwest Valley or northwest portion of LA County in San Fernando Valley. When I meet with my clients, it is a little bit more affluent area, and most of them have their taxes still being done. And I'll contact their CPA or their financial planner that prepared their taxes. I'll just introduce myself. I'll let them know that we're coming up with a strategy to reduce their taxes. We can edit that out. So what I'll do is meet with the clients, and I get a copy of their tax returns, even though they haven't maybe filed for a while or they don't remember. I'll still ask for a copy just so that I can garnish the information off of their tax returns and call the financial planner or their CPA, introduce myself to them as being another partner with them to help their client. So once I get that relationship going with their CPA, I just kind of let them know how the reverse mortgage is going to affect their tax deductibility and not having mortgage interest they can write off every year. So they can make the proper strategies to do so. And by working with the CPAs, it creates more spark for them to think about the other clients that they have that might fit better off with the reverse loan to help them. And then after that, I'll be introduced to financial planners as well. So I find that to be the most successful way of picking them up. The other way is you can just go old school and go online and you can Google fee-based financial planners. And they have a lot of different networks, different associations in the area. And you can go to the meetings at the gas and you can start building relationships with financial planners that way as well. And that works really well.
So Tom, have you attended NAFA meetings or FPA in your particular region?
Yes, I have. I've been invited I've been invited by the local financial planners that I work with to come to their meetings, and they haven't let me get on the podium to share yet. but hopefully within the next few months, they'll let me actually do a 5-minute presentation about reverse mortgages. But when I first started about 8 years ago, the response from financial planners was negative. Basically, they want to throw tomatoes at me or throw me out of their offices. But now I would say about the last 3 to 4 years, that's changed radically. And within the last 6 months, it's just night and day. Where I can almost when I pick up my phone, I can call them any financial planner and usually get an appointment with them within a month. Um, After the phone call and going over how the reverse mortgages work with your clients, especially when the pandemic first came out, they were losing so much revenue from the stock market. And obviously the fee-based financial planners, they get paid by how much they have under management. And so when they see the portfolio slowing down or the seniors are scared and liquidating their funds to put it into this regular cash, that affects them. So by building that safety net of a reverse mortgage to protect them, it keeps their income stream going. It helps the clients to avoid huge tax ramifications because we know every time they touch their funds, it's creating a tax ramification. So we do everything we can to try to avoid that for our clients.
So Tom, let's rewind back to the CPAs, and you told me something I think most originators listening today would be afraid to do. They did a reverse mortgage for someone, that homeowner said, my CPA is such and such. You did what? And what did that do? What did that result in? What did you do?
Well, what I did is when their financial planners or CPAs referred them to me, or if the clients say, I have a financial planner, talk to them. So basically, I just have a warm handoff where I will call the financial planner and introduce myself to let them know that we're coming up with a new strategy for a reverse mortgage. These are the options we want to do. What's your opinion? What do you think we should do? So I invite them to become part of the transaction to get an idea of what's the best way to help the client.
And I thought it was interesting with one CPA, rather than just never calling them and letting them know, hey, I did a reverse mortgage for your client. You made the point to call them, and they said, no one's ever done this. I've had a lot of reverse mortgages done for my clients, but you are the only one who picked up the phone. What kind of relationship did that result in? Business benefits as well.
Well, the business benefit is I'm his exclusive reverse mortgage loan officer. So every client that comes in, especially, normally it's between January and April during tax season, but now since about May onwards, if they extended the tax filing to July 15th, every senior client that comes in the door, I get a phone call from that CPA's database of clients that come in to just even to talk about and introduce the idea of reverse mortgage. It may not be for them today, but we're planting the seeds from maybe 2, 3, 5, 10 years down the road, how a reverse mortgage should be established so that when it does come to that time, they already have the reverse in place, even if they don't take any funds.
How do you stay in touch with these various professionals that you've built a relationship with over time? Are you simply just sending them emails that are automated and that's it, or are you doing something else?
I do a couple different things. One is I do the automated email blast. I usually do one about 3 to 4 times a month, just depending what time of year that we're in. I use the marketing program Send Out Cards, which is just fantastic. You can go online, you can find them. There's a lot of reps. I do the personal touch Send Out Cards. That helps quite a bit. And simply just picking up the phone and just seeing how things are going. Those 3 touch points in this environment with the COVID-19, that's really the most I can do. But if it wasn't COVID going on right now, what I do is I make little goodie bags. I'll go old school, go to Target, buy some brown paper lunch bags, and I'll put in a Snapple, some snacks, some fruit, and I'll go to their office and I'll just drop it off, put my card in it, and I'll go to the receptionist. I say, when Maria wants a snack, give her this bag.
Excellent.
And doing something like that, even if I don't have an appointment with them or if I never met them before,
right,
they're just shocked. and I always get a phone call saying, "Hey, I can't believe you did that, but yeah, I was hungry. But what do you do again? What are you all about?" I'll give them a 5-minute pitch, and then I always try to book to get an appointment or a Zoom meeting with them in the near future. So it's just basic guerrilla marketing, just going outside the box and try to do things to stimulate those relationships. So what I'll probably start doing next week, since I can't go to their offices, is I'll order supplies online, lunch bags, snacks, or whatever, and I'll just FedEx them a package.
Yeah.
And invest a little bit of money into it. I mean, it might cost me $30, $40 per box that I send out, but that's a small price to pay for the kind of revenue that we're able to produce in these types of loans. So for me, that's a fair investment, to say the least.
How many phone calls are you making each month, would you say, to these professionals that you've had a relationship with in the past?
On a monthly basis, I guess I'm making